Hello students, and this is our first lesson, this is our first lection, and when we are talking about present tenses, we need to start with the first tense, present simple. So, present simple. When we talk about present tenses, about the structure of present tenses, this is every time first how to build, how to form the sentences in this tense. For example, right now we are going to talk about present simple. First, how to build sentences, and second, how to use, when to use this tense, when to use present simple, and how to build sentences. Present simple tense in general indicates an action which happens in the present. Yeah, this is our present life, this is our daily routine, our habits, but it is not necessary for actions to happen right now, because for actions happening right now we use present continuous, and this is our second present tense. So actions that happens in the present in general. Next, we are going to talk about different uses. When do we need to use like actions that happens every day? This is our daily routine actions, yes? And this is our present tense when we are talking about our habits. So here in each lection we are going to have a lot of examples, because when you know a rule you need to see an example, practical example of the practical situation, and after that you can also show your examples for each structure, for each use. Here right now, as you can see, you have a lot of time to make your notes. So use this free time when I speak, when our lesson is going and you see materials, you have a lot of time to make your notes. Present simple tense indicates what? Unchanging situations, the first. General truth, this is about facts. The general facts and scientific facts, it's the same. For example, they just use specific term for scientific facts. It can be habits, facts, historical facts, what else it can be, natural facts, for example about our nature, environment, weather facts. This is also about facts. So general truth or general facts, this is about facts that we can't change, it's normal for us. Habits in general, and fixed arrangement and frequently occurring events. Fixed arrangements when we talk about schedule. Our schedule, for example, I have lesson at 6 p.m. This is my schedule. This is everyday lesson at 6 p.m. or this is a lesson that can be a few times per week or even once per week. Every time you need to make notes. When we talk about grammar, you need to make notes. You can pause the video and also write your notes. Grammar part with examples that you need to know if you want to start and speak faster. First, we talk about grammar rules. Second, we see and watch a lot of practical examples. We read them, we create our own sentences, and after that you speak. And you use these structures. When you speak, you use the structure of the sentence. As you can see, this is our system, this is our plan for this course, for each lection. I want you to be engaged here, pay a lot of attention, be concentrate, practice your concentration also, and speak. So, first, present simple tense uses. Right now we are talking about structure. We have three different sentences, three types of sentences and structures. Positive, the first, negative, the second, and third, this is questions. Right now the positive sentences, the first structure of the sentence is positive forms. Subject, first position, this is subject. As you can see, we have I, you, we, they, orange color. I, you, we, they, first group, subject. Second, we, one. This is verb, infinitive form, the first form of the verb. Write, read, jump, stop, help. This is our infinitive form of the verb. First form of the verb. In some books, in some grammar books, it can be infinitive form of the verb. In some books, they show the first form of the verb. This is the same. Second group, subject, he, she, it. The third person singular plus verb, first form of the verb, and verb plus s, es, or ies. So, in the case when we have subject he, she, it, we need to put the verb infinitive form and change the ending of this verb. When to add s, when to add es, when to add ies to the verb? This is the question. We have grammar rules, general rules. For the most part of the verbs, we need to add just s. For the some verbs, we need to add es. A little bit later, we will see these rules. Second, negative forms. First position subject, I, you, we, they. This is our first group of subjects. Second position, do not or don't. The short form, don't. Do not, this is our auxiliary verb. Plus we, one, the first form of the verb, infinitive form of the verb. Second subject, he, she, it, plus does not or doesn't, the short form. V1, first form of the verb. So this is the structure of your sentences. Of course, it will be a lot of examples. I do not read a book. He does not read a book. As you can see, sentences equal the structure of the tense. If I want to build positive sentences, if I want to build negative sentences, I need to use grammar structure for it. Write the structure, create a table maybe. It will be easy to use and understand for you. Questions. As you can see, in questions, we have our auxiliary verb do for subjects are, you, we, they, and do we need to put before the subject. Before are, you, we, they. After that, we need to put our main verb of the action in the first form. Do I read? Do you read? Does. Does he read? When we use subject he, she, it, we use auxiliary verb does. In questions, we need to put auxiliary verb before subject. After the subject, we have our main verb V1 in the first form, infinitive form of the verb. So, if you want to speak in English, you need to know the structure of the sentences. Structure of the sentence, this is English tenses, and when you know the structure, you know uses of this structure of this tense, and you can speak. Short answer forms for positive and negative sentences. So, of course, you can answer just yes, no, but in a right way, you can use short structure, or you can maybe hear when people use them. So, do you read a book? Do you read books in general? Yes, this is our repeated actions. Yes, I do. If this is a positive answer, green. part, as you can see. Yes, I do. Yes, subject, auxiliary verb do. No, I do not. No, subject, do not. Auxiliary verb plus not. Does she read books in general? Yes, she does. Yes, she does not. You just need to follow the structure. Yes, subject, are you with a auxiliary verb do. Point. No, subject, auxiliary verb do plus not. Not, this is a negative word. This is not an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb, this is do or does. Not, this is just a negative word. In present simple, we need to separate our subject to two groups. Are you with a, he, she, it. Because we need to use, for positive sentences, rules of verbs endings. And for negative sentences and for questions, we need to use auxiliary verb. When we need to put s or es or ies to the end of the verb, we will have the table for these rules, and also we will understand why we have auxiliary verb does. One more time. Right now we see examples of the structure, but without part of the speech, just words. And all the structures, this is for you for practice. If you want to speak, you need to use examples of the structures. So this is our table. We have here positive sentences, we have here negative sentences and questions. I start, I do not start, or I don't start. Do I start? You start, you do not start. Do you start? The question. He starts, she starts, it starts. As you can see, subjects, he, she, it. At the end of the verb in infinitive form, we need to put the ending s. Start, this is just general verb, and for general verbs, we need to put s. So, before our lesson with a table of endings, for verbs which endings ss, ch, double s, as I said before, double s, ch, sh, o, x, we need to put es. So go, goes, do, does. And where? This is where we have our auxiliary verb does. I do homework, she does homework. I do not do my homework, she does not do her homework. So auxiliary verb do, ending o plus es. Write this table. You can pause the video, you can read the sentences, follow the structure, and create your own sentences. All rules, as I mentioned, you need to write. You need to make some notes. Use your notebook, use your laptop, make some notes. It's easy to watch the video lesson one more time. And first lessons which include grammar rules, you need to repeat these rules with structures a lot of times. This is a goal here. Repeat the structure, and after that you can practice this structure for speaking. So, attention, what do we have here? First, in the present simple tense, we add the suffix s at the end of the verbs for the third singular subject, he, she, it. This is what we discussed before. This is a note for you. On the other hand, we use first forms of the verbs for other subjects. I, you, we, they. You, as you can see, I, you, we, you, they. You singular, you plural. This is the main idea. When we use he, she, it, we need to add suffix s or es at the end of the verb. That's what you need to remember. I read a book, I write a letter, she reads a book, he writes a letter. Verbs that ending with double s, es, double s, ch, sh, we need to add es at the end of this verb. Second rule, attention, although we add the suffix s at the end of the verb for the third singular subjects in positive sentences, we remove the suffix s at the end of the verb in questions and negative sentences because of being used does or doesn't as an auxiliary verb. So, one more time. In positive sentences, in the present simple, we need to add the suffix s at the end of the verb. She reads, he writes. But in negative sentences, we don't have the suffix s at the end of the verb. As you can see in the previous table, we had examples. He starts, he does not start. He starts, he does not start. So when we have does not, when we have negative structure, we don't need to add s at the end of the main verb, because our ending s we need to add to our auxiliary verb do. Do ends in o plus es. This is a tricky rule here. This is a tricky rule for each student. This is just the first lection. Don't be worried about this. I'm talking here. I'm trying to show you rules, examples, tables, but this is just our first lection. We will repeat. I don't want from you that you sit and memorize everything in one lesson. No. We need just repeat. We need to have a lot of practice, a lot of examples, sentences, and speak and practice. This is the way how can you memorize all these structures here and see them. Let's go forward. Write this note. Sometimes I will make some pause and you will have the time to make some notes. And let's write examples. This is our time for examples. Before it was the structure of the sentences, and right now it will be our examples. Here we will see how we need to use our present simple tense in practical way. One more time for you, the structure, positive sentences, subject, I, you, we, they, or he, she, it, plus V1, the main verb in infinitive form, plus ending s, es, ies. Examples. My mother lets me go out with my friends. I prefer my black coffee, so my mother, she lets, verb plus s. I prefer, subject I, we don't need to put anything to the verb. She puts, put plus s because subject she puts the keys on the table. The teacher, he or she, shouts, verb plus s, at us all the time. I have two brothers. I have, subject I, verb infinitive form. Coffee grows in Brazil. Coffee, it grows, grow plus s, where in Brazil. So we have the structure, we have the sentence. If you need to write all the sentences, you can pause the video. First of all, you need to pay your attention first, the start of the sentence, the subject, which subject in this sentence. Are you with a, he, she, it. After that, the main verb of the action, infinitive form, if are you with a, verb without s. If he, she, it, verb plus s. This is the main idea. Negative sentences, one more time, the structure, subject plus do, auxiliary verb, or does, plus not, plus verb of the action in infinitive form. Do, are you with a, does, he, she, it. My mother, she, does not let me go out with my friends. So, as you can see, that were I talking about. So, my mother does not let without s, because we have auxiliary verb does. We don't need to put any s, es at the end of the main verb of the action. Let without s, because you have auxiliary verb does. I do not prefer. If I want to make a negative sentence, I need to use do plus not. She does not put without s, because you have does. Does. The verb do, auxiliary verb do, ends in o. When the verb ends in o, you need to put es at the end of this verb. That's why we have does. So, the ending from the main verb, we need to relocate to auxiliary verb. The teacher does not shout. I do not have. Coffee does not grow. Write these examples and practice. Create your own sentences. Subject, verb. Subject, auxiliary verb plus not plus verb. For different subjects, different auxiliary verbs. Questions. Do, does, the first position plus subject plus verb infinitive form. Examples. Does your mother let you go out with your friends? Do you prefer your black coffee? Does she put the keys on the table? Does the teacher shout at us all the time? Do I have two brothers? Does coffee grow in Brazil? Do, does, first position. After that, subject. Do, are you with a? Does he, she, it? After that, the main verb of the verb. Also, in questions, you don't need to put s at the end of the verb when you use subjects he, she, it, because you have auxiliary verb does. Does already have ending es. It was do, are you with a, for are you with a. For he, she, it, we created does. This is do plus es. The tricky rule, the tricky system here. Yes. So, as you can see, the main lesson, it's the important lesson for all my students. I always show the present simple, and we spent a lot of time for present simple tense, because this is the important structures, the important rules for your general conversation, for daily conversations that you can speak already. If you know present simple, you can speak, you can already speak. You just need to have the basic vocabulary, know basic words, and put them in your sentences. That's all. That's why we will spend a lot of attention for present simple. A lot of examples. From these examples, you need to gain new words, new vocabulary. For beginners, for elementary level, for A1, A2, this is the time for you to gain a vocabulary. For B1, B2, they can skip the vocabulary, they can just repeat rules with the structure and go for speaking. But repeat words also great. So, notes. We have question words, and we use other questions words, for example, who, what, why, how much, how many, how often, etc. in present simple tense. For each tense we will have question words. For each tense we will have time markers. This is another topic, but question words. When we talk about question structure, we need to put question words before do or does, before auxiliary verb. What do you read? Who do they visit? So, question words before the auxiliary verb do or does in the present simple tense. Notes. Make your notes. So, one more time. Question words: when, where, who, what, why, how much, how many, how often, plus do or does, auxiliary verb, plus subject, he, she, it, are, you, we, they. Yes, subject, we also can name the pronoun. Different grammar books, different names of the part of the speech. Subject or pronoun. He, she, it, are, you, we, they. Or subject pronoun, yeah. Plus verb, infinitive form, first form of the verb. This is the structure of your questions with question words. How often does he call you? Why do you always do this? Always. Time marker. Often also time marker. How? This is our auxiliary, question word. How question word. Often. When we use it for positive sentences, this is time marker. Does, auxiliary verb. He, subject or pronoun. Call, main verb of the action, infinitive form. Why, question word. Do, auxiliary verb. You, subject. Always, time marker. Do, the main verb of the action, infinitive form. How much does it cost? How much, question word. Does, auxiliary verb. It, subject. Cost, main verb, infinitive form, main verb of the action. The structure, as you can see. Also use different colors for your notes. If you use your laptop, use some markers. Mark different colors. You need to understand part of the speech for the structure. Why can't you speak English? Because you don't understand the structure of the sentence. You need to know where to put each word, what this is the word, what is it? The part of the speech. Subject, verb, noun, question word, auxiliary verb, what does it mean? Second, question words. When, where, who, what, why, how much, how many, how often, etc. Plus verb, infinitive form, yeah, the first form of the verb, plus s, the ending. Object pronouns, me, you, him, her, it, us, them. Object pronouns, this is me, you, him, her, it, us, them. And when you use object pronouns, you don't need to use auxiliary verb. Who gives him a scholarship? Who, question word, gives the main verb of the action. Give plus s. Because object pronoun, him, he. Subject, he. Object pronoun, him. That's why you need to put s at the end of the verb. What makes you angry? What, question word, makes, verb plus s, you, subject, or object pronoun, the same form, angry. So when you use object pronoun, one more time, me, you, him, her, it, us, them, you don't need to use auxiliary verb do or does. As you can see, the different part of the speech, different structure, yeah? When you use just subject, you need to use auxiliary verb, subject, are, you, is, a, he, she, it. When you use object pronouns, you don't need to use auxiliary verb. It was our first lection. It was a lot of information here. My advice for you right now, watch the first lection one more time. Check your notes. Check the explanation. Write your questions. Write your questions and ask me your questions. Thank you for the lesson. See you at the next time. Bye bye, students. Hello, students. Welcome here. This is our second lection, to be in the present simple tense. In the first lection, we were talking about what? About present simple with verbs in infinitive form, yes? And right now, we are going to talk about present simple with verb to be. And to be, this is our infinitive form of the verb to be, yeah? But for present simple, we need to change to be to am, is, are. And right now you can see examples on your screen. My name is Lisa. So, who am I? Yeah? My name is Lisa. What is your name? My name is Lisa. The form of the verb to be is. Or I am Lisa. I'm 22. No, we can't say I be 22. We need to change. If I want to say how old am I need to change to be to the am, because subject I and use I am 22. This is the structure, this is the form. So, who are you? How old are you? Who are you? It's like, what is your name? What about your profession? Yeah, I am a teacher. I am American. Who are you? This is your nationality. I am from Chicago. Where are you from? So you can write these questions. You can write sentences and ask questions to each sentence. And if for sentence you can ask the question in this form, it means you can use am, is, are. It's form to be of the verb. Forms of the verb to be, am, is, are. One more time. I am a student. Who are you? So this is my profession. Yeah, I am a student. I am a human. I am a student. Who are you? I am a teacher. He is a doctor. Yeah, they are dancers, and so on. Who are you? Who are they? Who is he? My father is a doctor. Who is he? He is a doctor. The form of the verb to be is. He is a doctor. Who is he? She is a doctor. Who is she? The form of the verb to be is, because subject he, she, it. So when we use subject I, it will be the form of the verb to be am, as we can see from examples. When we use subject he, she, we need to use the form of the verb to be is. When we have subjects I, you, they, plural, you and you singular, we need to put the form of the verb to be are. My mother is a journalist. Who is she? She is a journalist. Who is your mother? My mother is a journalist. As you can see, ask questions. When you want to check your structure of the sentence, just ask the question to the sentence. Next example. If you don't have enough time to write examples or ask questions, you can pause the video lesson, okay? Next, my favorite color is blue. What is your favorite color? My favorite color is blue. Or it is blue. We can just change my favorite color. This is it. Yeah, this is the thing. So it is blue. What is your favorite color? What is your favorite song? What is your favorite dance? What is your favorite movie? It is. What is your favorite car? Or what is your favorite sport? My favorite sports are, because plural form sports, a lot of sports, are American football and swimming. Or my favorite sport is American football. His favorite sport, or he likes American football. As you can see, we can switch to verbs, or we can say his favorite sport is American football. Different structure, but just present simple tense. You use the same tense, but different structure. My favorite sport is football, or I like football. My favorite sport is football is with verb to be, and I like with verb infinitive form like. I am interested in art. I am interested in art. This is a hobby. What is your hobby? I am interested in art. I am interested in reading. I am interested in dancing. What is your hobby, yeah? Or I have a hobby. I like dancing. I am not interested in politics. If you want to change positive sentence to negative, you just need to put not. I am not interested. not you need to put after the verb to be in form am, is, are. Examples. More examples here. So when we work with examples, you already can work with a grammar structure. You already can mark or make notes. This is subject, this is verb to be in the form am, is, are. Yeah, you already see the grammar structure. That's what I want from you. That's what we are practicing here. So for beginners, this is must have what they need to do. For level higher than A2, B1, B2, this is for repeating. Because why after A2 level we have problems with speaking? Because you don't remember all structures, you don't remember grammar rules, or you can't use them for speaking. And we need to start one more time to repeat. So one time repeat, understand, work with grammar rules, with structures, and after that you can speak. Positive forms, as you can see, right now we have a table, a grammar table that I were trying to explain you from examples. So subject, we separated here for three forms because we have for three groups, because we have three forms of the verb to be. I am, it's every time like this. He, she, it is, and we, you, they, are. You singular and you plural. And we have the short form, of course, for speaking, for writing is useful. I'm, his, she's, its, we're, you're, there. Okay. Take your time, write the table. So as you can see, example, the structure of the sentence, the structure of the grammar structure, the example. That's all what you need to understand. Short forms, yeah, short forms. But short forms sometimes you need to understand from the context. If you have not the simple sentences with different structures, of course, sometimes you can make a mistake with short forms, but you need to understand them. And how to understand, this is his, this is he is. From the context, from the structure, he is a student. It can't be has, he has a student. Maybe. He has a book, yes, but he is a book. It can't be. Negative. I'm not, is not, he's not, or he isn't. As you can see, when we want to make a short form from is not, it can be the short form of his plus not, or he plus isn't. She's not, she isn't. We are not the same. We're not, or we aren't. It depends. In some books you can see the first solution. In other books you can see the second solution or variation of the short form. This is normal. This is okay. Make your notes. Take your time. I am not a student. He is not a student. They are not students. And here, when we work with plural form, we need to remember plural nouns. Yeah, how to create plural nouns. I am a teacher, she is a teacher, they are not teachers, or they are teachers. Ending. Make new notes, of course. Examples. I like to work with examples and read examples as a grammar structure, because this is the one way how to understand the context. How to understand the context. I'm cold. Can you close the window, please? I'm cold. I'm cold. So it's about your feelings, conditions, yes, inside, like of your body. It's not about physical action. You just sit and you feel cold and you say, I am cold. Can you close the window, please? I'm cold. This is my body conditioning. I feel something. So this is about feelings. And the question, are you cold? I am cold. Or I am not cold. I'm 32 years old. How old are you? Yeah, I'm 32 years old. Or how old is he? He is 32 years old. My sister's 29. She is 29. How old is your sister? My sister is 29. It's about age. Every time it will be to be in this structure for this question. Steve is ill. One more time about his condition. His condition. He is ill. He feels sick. It's with action verb. He feels sick, but he is ill. Also about his condition, but with verb to be. He is in bed. Where is he? He is in bed. Not he in bed, he on bed. No, he is in bed. Where is he? He is in bed. My brother is scared of dogs. This is about his condition, his feelings. My brother is scared. Scared, afraid, glad, happy. This is emotions, feelings. And you need to use feelings, verbs, emotion, verbs with am is are, with verb to be. It is 9 o'clock. You are late again. It is 9 o'clock. What time is it? It is time o'clock. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Read the grammar structure. And I are good friends. We are good friends, yeah? And I. We. It's a plural form, so you need to use this form of the verb to be. Are. We are good friends, and plural form of the noun. Next example. Let me know, do you like these examples in this format? For me, it looks like the perfect way how to see the examples, the action, what we are talking about. Your keys are on the table. Where are my keys? Where are they? Where are keys? Your keys are on the table. This is a preposition rules. On the table, on the surface, yeah, of something. And they are on the table. Write the example. Also mark the part of the speech that it will be clear to understand for you. Next example. I am tired, but I am not hungry. I am tired. What are you feeling? Yeah, it's about your feelings. Are you hungry or are you tired? Yeah, I am tired, but I am not hungry, or I am hungry, but I am not tired. This is about my feelings and my condition. So when we want to talk about physical actions, we need to use just verbs. The structure is verbs, do and does, yeah, plus not, auxiliary verb. But when we are talking about feelings, who is who, what about your feelings, what about your condition, this is about be. Lisa is not interested in politics. Isn't. She is interested in art. Yeah? Or we can say Lisa doesn't like politics. She likes art. We can change and work with active verbs, verbs of the action. Or we can talk about who is what is she feeling, and what is she liking. Yeah, we are talking about her interests. Is she interested in politics? Is she interested in politics? She is interested in politics. James isn't a teacher. James isn't a teacher. Who is he? He is not a teacher. He is a student. This is about his profession. Who is he? Or he works as a teacher. He doesn't work as a teacher. He works as a student. This is the action verb, but we can just short and say he is. He is a student. Who is he? He is a student. Those people aren't English. Those people aren't English. Or they are American. Yeah? Those people are American. They are not English. Who are they? Who are they? They are Australian. They are European. Who are they? For each sentence, you can ask the question, and this question will help you understand the structure. It is sunny today, but it isn't warm. It is sunny. It is sunny, but it is not warm. It is cold, for example. We can say like this. So, write your questions about this lection. Maybe do you need more examples? Write notes, practice your examples, and understand the difference between the first lection when we were talking about action with verbs in infinitive form, and when we are talking here in the lection number 2 about verb to be in the form am is are, when to use it. And I will see you in the next lesson. Hello students, welcome in our next lection. This is our lection number 3, and here we are going to repeat how to work with verbs, with actions, yeah? And different subject, different form of the verb in present simple. Our present simple tense, which we need to use for habits, our daily routine, our daily actions, repeated actions first of all, and general truths, facts that we can't change. They are normal for us. Examples. So, as you remember, you have your notes. From the lection number 1, we read a lot. They have a lot of books, they read a lot. So, they read a lot, the structure. Subject, we, they, infinitive form of the verb, read without ending, just infinitive form, and the next part of the sentence. A lot, or a lot of books, or just books. We can change read to have. We can change the verb. But subject, they, verb, have, infinitive form. Next part of the sentence, a lot of books, a lot of pens, a lot of socks. They have a lot of something, yeah? I have a lot of books, but she has. And here, when we use the verb have in the present simple, for subject he, she, it will be has. Not haves, have plus s, no, has. I like ice cream. I, subject, verb, like, ice cream, noun. She likes ice cream. She, subject, like plus s, likes ice cream, noun. This is your structure. Questions. You know how to ask questions in the present simple. What do you like? Do you like ice cream? I like ice cream. Do you like books? I like books. Next. This is examples of subjects, of verbs in the present simple. We need to remember he, she, it. In the case when we use subjects he, she, it, you need to put s at the end of the verb or es. And here we have some examples, practical examples. He reads, she reads, it reads, likes, works, lives, watches. The verb watch ends with ch, and that's why you need to put es at the end of this verb. Does. The verb do ends with o, and in this case you need to put es after o. Does. And have, I-U-V-Z, have infinitive form, but for he, she, it will be has. This is our last verb here in our line. has. I have a book, she has a book. You have a book, she has a book, he has a book, it has something, yeah? This is the important rule here. And here are verbs. When we are talking about verbs, we are talking about actions, physical actions. You do something, yeah? I work. This is physical actions. I swim. This is also physical actions. One more time, remember, he works, she lives, it rains. When you use he, she, it, please put ending s at the end of the main verb, of the action. He works as a waiter. She works at the shop. I work in a shop. I work without s. Subject, main verb of the action, the next part of the sentence. Right now, you have a time and write your 5 examples of the sentences with I, you, with they, and he, she, it. Use different verbs. You can use verbs from our examples, and remember, he, she, it, put s at the end of the verb. She lives in where? In America. He works at the shop. It rains every day. Example, my brother works in a bank. My brother works in a bank, this is the incorrect. You need to put s at the end of the verb work, yeah? My brother works in a bank. Next example. Of course, for speaking, when you speak faster, you can make mistakes, but this is normal, this is okay. Don't be afraid of this, make mistakes. When you speak faster, you think about words, about translation, how to translate this word in your head. And it's normal to make mistakes, but when you can pay attention for your mistakes, how to correct them. Oh, I made a mistake. I said my brother work instead of my brother works. And you can check yourself, you can correct, and next time you will pay more attention for this example. And step by step, it will be automatical action, correct yourself or speak grammarly right. Lucy lives in London. Lucy live plus s, lives. Her parents live in Scotland. Why her parents live? Because they, her parents, this is plural form, plural subject, live. They live in Scotland, but she lives. She, third singular, third person singular form. She lives in London. He lives in Australia, but they live in Europe. Every time you can separate, like change her parents to they, yeah? Her parents, or my father, or his father, he. My mother, she. It rains a lot in winter. It rains a lot in winter. It, rain plus s, rains. Rain can be verb, can be noun. In English we have a lot of words, and each word can have different meaning and be different part of speech. Rain, noun, rain, verb. It depends where you will put the word in the sentence. Joe has a shower every day. As you can see, we change have to has because Joe, he has, but I have a shower every day. He has a shower every day. They have the shower every day. Remember, spelling. Yeah, spelling. We need to know it, but when we speak faster, of course, no one will pay a lot of attention for spellings. Native speakers, they speak faster, sometimes a lot of speed, yeah, and we can't understand. But let's practice. So, spelling. When we have es at the end of the verb, after verbs that end s, ch, sh, double s, or pass, passes. Finish, finishes. Watch, watches. Verbs that ends y, and before y we have the consonant. For example, study, Y before D consonant. Studies, we need to put away Y, change Y to I, and put ES. Try, tries. Also, verbs that ending do, does, we need to put ES. Go, the end of the verb, or goes plus ES. So, this is the truth that I mentioned before, and this is the examples of the rule and verbs. So first, verbs that end S, double S, SH, CH, or X, we need to put at the end of these verbs ES. When we use he, she, it, subject he, she, it. When the verb ends with Y, before Y we have the consonant, we need to change the Y to I and put ES. Do, go, we need to, this is the first rule with ES, yeah? It's like examples here also. So these rules that you need to know about endings. This is all for this lesson, for this lection. We will practice a little bit, repeat one more time our grammar structure, and I will see you at the next lesson. See you guys! Hello students, welcome. This is our next lection, and here we are continue to practice with you and work with our present simple structures, with our structures with I, you, with a, he, she, it, and verbs, the action, yes, the actions. So, first lection, it was the grammar lection with structures, and here in this lection we have more examples. We have more examples of the sentences. So, we use the present simple for things that are true in general, yes, or for things that happen sometimes or all the time. This is about repeated actions, yeah? Sometimes, 1 time per week, 2 times per week, once per month, can be like 2 times per month, or every day. Repeated actions, yeah, repeated actions. So, actions that are happening sometimes or they are repeated. And examples: I clean my room every day. He cleans his room once per week. She doesn't clean her room every day. She cleans her room on Mondays or on Saturdays. So, 1 time per week. This is the example. As you can see, we have every day, on Mondays, always. For example, I always clean my room, I always make my bed. This is time markers and time expressions. And with their help, you can understand how often the action is happening. Your English is good, you speak very well. Your English is good, you speak very well. You speak, you subject, speak, verb. And the next part of the sentence, very well. In general, you speak very well, you speak English very good. In general, this is repeated actions. Yeah, you have 2 lessons per week, so you speak English 2 times per week. Tom works very hard every day. He starts at 7:30 and finishes at 9 o'clock in the evening. This is like the all day, a lot of hours, yeah? He works like 8-9 hours every day. This is the repeated actions. This is the repeated actions. Next example. The earth goes round the sun every day. This is the fact. This is the fact. We can't change it. We know it and we can't change it. The earth goes round the sun. Repeated action. Yes, every day. Of course, every minute, every second. Facts. Nature, environment, weather. Facts, general facts. For us, they are true, we can't change them. We do a lot of different things in our free time. Free time, we can have free time every day, a lot of free hours, yeah. We do a lot of different things in our free time. This is our present life. I do a lot of different things in my free time. I have a lot of free time, so I can do everything that I want. This is our daily routine. This is our daily life, and this is our present simple. As you can see, when you talk about your life, this is present simple. It costs a lot of money to build a hospital. It costs a lot of money to build a hospital in general. We know it. This is a fact also, yeah? It's a fact. This is not like a nature fact that we can change. This is a life fact, yeah? Life experience fact. Next lesson. Thank you for this lesson. We practiced with you, we saw examples, and I will see you the next time. Bye bye, students. Hello students, this is our new lesson, and let's continue to practice present simple, subjects I, you, we, they, he, she, it, and verbs, infinitive form of the verb, and practical life examples about repeated actions, about general truths, facts that we can change, and time markers. As I mentioned before in some examples, we have time markers. Time marker, this is one word, yeah, just one word. Always, never, often, usually, sometimes. And we need to remember the rule where to put the time marker. Where? After the subject, after the verb, at the end of the sentence, where? We have time markers, one word, and time expressions like every day, every weekend. Time expressions we need to put at the end of the sentence, but time marker we need to put after the subject. Sue gets always to work early, Sue gets always wrong, Sue always gets to work early. As you can see, always we need to put after you, she, after the subject, before the verb. This is a rule. Time marker, one word. Always, often, sometimes, usually. I eat never breakfast. Wrong. I never eat breakfast. When you use time marker never, this is the negative. You don't need to use here do not, the auxiliary verb. So, I never eat breakfast. And this is a negative sentence. Or I don't eat breakfast, or I never eat breakfast. You can use time marker never or auxiliary verb do not. It's about your choice. We often go away at weekends. We often go away at weekends. Often. After we, before go. This is time marker. After the subject, before the main verb of the action. Between we and go. Subject and verb. At weekends it's time expression. At weekends. Where? When? At weekends. On weekend, on Mondays, on Saturdays. Every week, every day. This is time expression, we need to put them at the end. Mark usually plays football on Sundays. On Sundays. Time expression at the end of the sentence. Usually, always at the start of the sentence after the subject. One more time. Time marker, one word. Usually, always, sometimes, never, ever. Time expressions, every day, very often, on Sundays, at the end of the sentence. I sometimes walk to work, but not very often. I sometimes walk to work. This is that you need to know about time markers. Where to put time markers in the sentence. Where to put time expressions in the sentence. This is also about the structure, and it will help you to speak faster. Bye bye. Hello students, and this is our next lesson. Present simple. This is the first section where we will work with present simple. Present simple rules, structures, positive, negative sentences and questions, with action verbs, with to be. So, present simple tense, uses. Let's talk a little bit more about uses. Uses, it's when do we need to use this tense? When do we need to use present simple? Okay, repeated actions, yeah, we understand. Facts, but sometimes it's difficult to recognize them. So the present simple tense in English is used to describe an action that is regular, true, or normal. We use the present simple tense in, and right now we are going to take a look when. Some examples. Of course, in general, we call it repeated actions, repeated or regular actions in the present time period. Regular actions, it's our present time, our daily routine. This is repeated action, this is our present time, present life. And that's why it's easy to identify the repeated actions in the present time. I take the train to the office. You can add every day or without every day. It's understandable. The train to Berlin leaves every hour. This is about schedule. The train leaves. It leaves every hour. Yeah, the train to Berlin leaves every hour. This is repeated action. This is about everyday action. Every hour. Every hour, it's like time expression that also can help you to understand this is a present simple. Tina sleeps 8 hours every night during the week. Tina sleeps. This is her daily schedule. This is her daily routine. This is a repeated action for her. For facts, yes, for facts. How to identify the fact? We can't change it. You can't change the fact of the nature, of the environment, of the history. You can't change. This is normal for us. It can be life facts, of course, from our life experience, but we are sure, like 100%, this is a fact. The president of the US lives in the White House. Yeah, the president lives in a White House. This is a fact? Yes. A dog has 4 legs. Is it a fact? Yes. This is a fact and we know about it. For us, this is normal. We don't need to think, oh, this is a fact or not. We come from Canada. Where are we from? Where do we come from? We come from Canada. This is also a fact. For habits, for our habits. Habits equal repeated actions, because habits we also need to repeat, yeah? If I cook breakfast every day, I don't eat breakfast every day. This is my habit. I eat breakfast or I don't eat breakfast. This is my habit, yeah? I get up early every day. This is a habit? Yeah, this is a habit. This is a daily routine. This is a repeated action. So, this is all about present simple tense. Repeated action, daily life, routine, facts. And in general, when we talk about something, we also use only present simple. Carol brushes her teeth twice a day. This is her habit. Someone can brush their teeth 3 times per day, but she brushes her teeth 2 times per day. They travel to their country house every weekend. How often? When? Every weekend, yes? And this is a fact. This is a habit. This is normal daily routine for them. For things that are always generally true, it rains a lot in winter. This is about weather facts. Weather we also can't control, we can't change. So it rains a lot in autumn. For us, this is normal. It rains a lot in autumn. It snows a lot in winter. This is about weather. One more time, we can't control the weather. The Queen of England lives in Buckingham Palace. This is a fact. A fact. We can't change it. No. They speak English at work. Yeah. This is normal. This is a habit. This is a repeated actions. As you can see, uses of the present simple tense. This is about our life. Daily repeated actions. Watch this video lesson one more time and create your own examples. See you on the next lesson. Hello students, welcome to our new lesson, and here we are going to practice with you with positive sentences in the present simple tense. Our present simple tense for repeated actions and positive sentences. When we want to say something, I go to work every day, I walk to work every day, this is a positive. We form the present simple tense using the base form of the infinitive, form without the to. And in general, in the third person, we add s in the third person singular. This is he, she, it. One more time, we need to repeat the structure. Take a look on some examples, practice, read examples, and create our own sentences and speak. So, one more time. Structure, subject, verb, infinitive form, and the rest of the sentence. You can use for you different tables. Yes, maybe it was easiest for you to understand from the first lection the table, or maybe from this lection, because we discussed a lot of examples, and right now it's for you to easy to understand. This is the main idea. No, when you try to memorize a lot of grammar rules from the first time when you open the book, it's difficult. The first lesson every time difficult for students because it's a lot of information. To understand the present simple during 60 minutes, it's impossible. It's a lot of information. This is a mess in your head. But when we work like 2 hours with the present simple tense, we have a few video lessons. It's a lot of examples. One more time, you repeat the same structure. One more time, tutor explains what you need to do, what is it. You memorize in this way of repeating, okay? Don't sit and memorize like learn it, and no, repeat and explain to yourself. It's also the one of solution, one of my advices. How can you understand the tense of English? Explain to you. Explain some rules to yourself, write examples, and practice. So, subject, are you with a speak, learn verb without ending. Subject, he, she, it, learns, speaks. So, the spelling of the verb in the third person differs depending on the ending of that verb. Yeah, we were talking about it. So, spellings. When we need to add s to the verb, when we need to put es at the end of the verb, and when we need to put ies at the end of the verb, yeah? So, the first rule for verbs that end in o, ch, sh, double s, x, that, double that, we add es in the third person, singular, yeah? He, she, it. I go, he, she, it goes, yeah? Catch, catches. I catch, you catch, but he, she, it catches. I wash, you wash, they wash. He, she, it washes. Kiss, I kiss, she kisses. You fix, he fixes. I buzz, you buzz, it buzzes. Yeah? So, as you can see, verb ending o, ch, double s, sh, memorize it, repeat. Second, for verbs that end in a consonant plus y, we remove the y and add ies. Marry, marries, study, studies, carry, carries, worry, worries. So we have only 2 rules when we need to change the ending. It's easy. Note, for verbs that end in a vowel plus y, we just add s. Yeah, so this is also common verbs. Play, plays, enjoy, enjoys, say, says. Y at the end of the verb before vowel a, o, a, I, e, yeah? So just s. You have only 2 rules that you need to remember of endings in the present simple. And that's all about endings. It's one more time for you. I just wanted to show that you to repeat these rules of endings and understand. It was a lot of examples before, and here that's how like the conclusion for endings for verbs in the case when we use subject he, she. See you in the next lection. Hello students, and this is our next lecture. Here we are continue to talk with you about present simple sentences, and in this lesson it will be negative sentences. We discussed with you the structure of the negative sentences, but we need to practice with you and practice a lot of examples. So how to build a negative sentence in the present simple tense. To make a negative sentence in English, we normally use do not or don't or doesn't, does not with all verbs except to be and modal verbs can, might, should, would, shall, will, and so on. So to be it means forms am, is, are, and with am, is, are we don't need to use our auxiliary verb plus not, do not or does not. Examples: affirmative sentence, you speak French. Negative, you don't speak French. As you can see, you have subject, you have infinitive form of the verb in the positive sentence, but if you want to create a negative sentence, you need to put subject, auxiliary verb plus not, do not, or a short form don't, and after that the main verb of the action, speak. The main verb of the action in the infinitive form. This is the structure that you need to follow and create your sentences. Why do we have a problem with sentences when we want to speak and create our own sentences to build them? We can't use the structure, we don't understand the part of the speech, which part of the speech I need to put in this sentence. This is our problem. So you will see that we add do not between the subject and the verb. This is a rule. We need to put auxiliary verb don't or doesn't between subject and the main verb of the action. We use do not when the subject is I, you, we, they. This is the rule, and we know this rule. We have already learned it. Affirmative, we speak German. Negative, we do not speak German. We don't speak German. First, that you need to remember when to use don't, when subject I, you, we, they. Where to put don't? Between subject and the main verb of the action. Two rules, and you can create your own sentences. Doesn't. When the subject is he, she, or it, we add doesn't between the subject and the verb to make a negative sentence. He speaks German. He doesn't speak German. When the subject he, she, it, you need to use auxiliary verb does plus negative word not. Negative word not. Does not, doesn't. Notice that when you create a negative sentence and use auxiliary verb doesn't, you don't need to put s at the end of the main verb. It will be just infinitive form, yeah? So he speaks German, he doesn't speak German. You don't need to put s at the end of the verb speak. Contractions, yeah? Short forms that we need to understand. What is it? Where we have taken it. Do not, this is don't. Does not, this is doesn't. So the same meaning. I do not like meat, I don't like meat. Or the opposite, yeah? There is no differences in meaning. The same meaning, but this is just short form, and we can use these short forms, these contractions for our speech. Next examples. Write all notes, because they are so useful for you. Structure of the negative sentences. One more time. the following in the word order to construct a basic negative sentence in English in the present simple tense using don't or doesn't. One more time. The structure. Right now, you can speak with me and explain the grammar rules by yourself. So, subject, first position, are you with they? Auxiliary verb, do plus not, or the short form don't. Verb of the action, the main verb, infinitive form, have, buy, eat, like, and so on. The rest of the sentence. Subject she, it. Auxiliary verb does plus not or doesn't. Verb, infinitive form, the main verb of the action, the rest of the sentence. In the negative sentence, you don't need to put s or es at the end of the main verb because you have does. This is do plus es, does. One more time. Notes. You don't need to put to before infinitive form of the verb. You need to use verb without to, infinitive form without to. What else do we need to remember? Example. So when you read grammar rules about infinitive form of the verb, to have, to read, to write. But when we put this verb in the sentence, we don't need to use to, because this is the first verb in your sentence. This is the main verb of the action, infinitive form, subject, verb without to. In positive sentences, subject, auxiliary verb, and main verb. Also without to. In negative sentence, you don't need to use to here. Examples of negative sentences with our auxiliary verb. You don't speak Arabic. John doesn't speak Italian. We don't have time for a rest. It doesn't move. They don't want to go to the party. She doesn't like fish. So, first position, subject. Second position, auxiliary verb, depends of the subject. Are you with they? Don't. He, she, it, doesn't. Main verb of the action. You can see different colors, different part of speech. And after the main verb of the action, the rest of the sentence. In the rest of the sentence can be noun, can be adjective, other part of speech. Next, what do we have here? You can write these sentences, you can create your own sentences like examples and practice. Next lesson. So, in the next lesson we are going to continue with you to practice more, to have more examples, to speak with you. Of course, this is our main goal at the end of this course. See you next time. Have a great day and stay positive. Hello students, welcome. This is our new lection, and in this lection, as you can see, our preview, questions in the present simple tense. We discussed with you positive sentences, negative sentences in the present simple, and here we are going to talk about questions. So, questions. When we are talking about the structure of some English tense, present simple, for example, in this case, or present continuous or past simple, this is about the structure, the part of the speech, and where we need to put this word, yes, this part of the speech. So, questions. To make a question in English in present simple, we normally use do or does, and this is our auxiliary verb. This is the part of speech. It is normally put at the beginning of the question. It's always put at the beginning of the question. We need to put auxiliary verb at the beginning of the sentence, yes, of the question. So if our structure of the affirmative sentence, this is you speak English, question, you have do, auxiliary verb, and you need to put do at the beginning before the subject you. After subject you will be the main verb of the action speak and the rest of the sentence. So do you speak English? Do, auxiliary verb, because subject you, when we have subject are, you with they, we need to use auxiliary verb do, speak, the main verb of the action, English. Next one, next example, does. Next question, when do we need to use does? What is it does? The same as do. Does, this is our auxiliary verb. This is do plus es at the end. So, one more time. The rule. When do we need to use do? When the subject are, you, we, they, we need to use auxiliary verb do. We speak English, you speak English, I speak English, they speak English. But for questions, we need to put auxiliary verb do. Do we speak French? Do you speak French? Do I speak French? Do they speak French? Auxiliary verb do, because subject are, you, we, they. And after this, we need to discuss when to use does. Does. This is do plus es at the end. And when we have subject he, she, it, we need to use auxiliary verb does. Yes? So, also the rule. Put does at the beginning of the sentence, before the subject. If your affirmative sentence this is he speaks French or she speaks French, in the question you need to take auxiliary verb does, put it before she or he or it, after that the main verb of the action, and the rest part of the sentence. Does he speak French? Does she speak French? Okay, so you have the structure, you have the part of the speech, and you know where to put each part of the speech in your sentence. Positive, negative sentences, or in the questions. Next, what do we need to notice? That ending s at the verb, yeah, so he speaks French, she cleans the room, but in the question, does she clean her room, does he speak French, we don't have the end s, yeah, at the end of the verb, ending s at the end of the verb, because we have does, do plus es. So this ending from the main verb s or es, we need to take and put it for do, in the case of subject he, she, it. That's why you don't have endings in the main verb. Does she clean her room? Clean without s. She cleans her room, but does she clean her room? Clean without s. Because you have auxiliary verb does. Does, this is do plus es. This is your ending here. I will explain everything to you as this. I will repeat a lot of times the same rules, and it will help you to understand all rules, to memorize all rules. This is the way that we want do by ourselves. We can't do it by ourselves, or maybe we don't have enough time to do it by ourselves, but the reason is we don't want to do it, to repeat the same rules. We just read one time, close the book, and go away. And after that, and the next day, we can say, oh, I can't speak English. I don't understand grammar, because you don't have someone around you who can explain you, or repeat and repeat for you 100 times the same rule. And after that, you can feel more better about this rule, about the grammar rules, and all these rules for you will look, I guess, a little bit easier. Not I guess, I'm sure about it. So, next rule, let's come back. We don't use do or does auxiliary verbs in questions that have the verb to be. What does it mean, the verb to be? This is am is are. Or modal verbs. Modal verbs, for example, can, could, must, might, should, would, will. This is modal verbs. This is like the separate part of the verbs in English, and they don't need to have auxiliary verb. They can work by themselves. They can create negative sentences, they can create questions. For example, here, he can speak French. He, subject, can, modal verb. And if I want to create negative sentence, I will say he cannot, can plus not, he cannot speak French. But if I want to say the question and ask someone, can he speak French, I take modal verb can and put it before the subject. So that's why I have this structure. Can he speak French, can, modal verb, he, subject, speak, main verb of the action, and the rest of the sentence. So as you can see, we don't need here do, does. The same with others modal verbs. Must, he must speak French. Must he speak French? The same. You don't need to use any auxiliary verbs here. Let's go forward. You have a lot of free time here. When I explain to you, you can make your notes. Don't waste this time, or maybe pause the lection, the video, and explain it to yourself, or try to understand if this is the level A1, A2 of English right now, and when you need to understand and not like research the information, understand the meaning of rules of English tenses, because this is your speaking practice. This is the way, this is the door that you need to open and go forward, yes, and start to speak, to go out from your boundaries. So memorize rules, practice, read them a few times. You need to understand not only grammar structure. First of all, grammar structure, the second, meaning of the sentences, because each structure, each tense structure have the meaning. And that's why we have a lot of English tenses, a lot of different structures, because we need to speak in different meanings. We want to show different contexts. That's why we need to have a lot of different structures, parts of speech, and so on. Next, structure of the questions with do and does. The following is the word order to construct a basic question in English using do or does. Yeah, it's like a difficult to understand this sentence. What does it mean? So they want to say to us that we have, one more time, auxiliary verb, first position in questions, do, does. Next, subject. This is our word order, yeah? This is our subject, pronoun. Also, we can call it pronoun are, you, we, they, he, she, it. Verb, the main verb of the action, the first form of the verb, infinitive form of the verb, and after our main verb, it will be the rest part of the sentence. Do I have a new bike? Do you need a new bike? Does she has a new bike? You remember that rule that when we want to use main verb, infinitive form have as a main verb, subjects are, you, we, they will work with have, subject he, she, it will work with has. So does she has a new bike? Does he want a new bike? This is one more time about grammar structure. Verb, yeah, this is also a great example of explanations. That we use infinitive form of the verb, but we don't need to use to with verb. To we put before the verb, for example, when we start the sentence with verb. To go somewhere, something like that. In the context, you can see a lot of these examples. Or maybe when we have the table of verbs, and they also write to, have, to, want, to go. Examples of verbs. But when we put our verb infinitive form, first form of the verb, in the sentence, we need to make it without to. We need to take to out of this and take only infinitive form of the verb. This is that we need to remember. Yeah, examples: to have, to eat, to go, to live, to speak, etc. This is that we can see this type of verbs with to in some explanations. It's about grammar rules and about tables. But when we put main verb infinitive form in the sentence, it will be every time without to. Examples of negative questions with do and does. Of course, we have positive questions and we have negative questions, because sometimes we can ask in this context the question like, do not you need a dictionary? Don't you need a dictionary? Like, don't you need something? Does not Mary need a dictionary? Doesn't she need a dictionary? Don't we have a meeting now? Don't we have a meeting now? Doesn't it rain a lot in winter? Don't they want to go to the party? Does not he like pizza? So, as you can see, negative questions. First, you start your question with auxiliary verb do or does. After that, the negative word not. After not, subject, you, she, he, we, I, and so on. And after that, the next part of the sentences. Okay. You can also write your negative questions, like 10 examples right now. Make some break for practice. And we continue to talk about rules. So, short answers. Of course, when we have questions, we need to have answers. But can we create short answers? Of course, it can be like yes or no. But do you like chocolate? Our standard positive question, yes, I do. So this is your short answer. Yes, after that subject, after that auxiliary verb do. Because subject I. Does he like chocolate? Yes, he does. Yes, subject he, auxiliary verb does. Or yes, subject she, auxiliary verb does also. Negative answers. No, I do not. Subject, do auxiliary verb or does, plus negative word not. So, positive short answer, yes, subject, auxiliary verb do or does. Negative answers, short answers, no, subject, auxiliary verb do or does, plus negative word not. This is what about short answers. Or you can use the standard form of answer, like the long answer, the whole sentence. Do you like chocolate? Yes, I like chocolate so much. I prefer black chocolate, but sometimes I also can eat white chocolate. This is the whole answer. But sometimes it's enough. Yes, I do. That's all. However, so make some note. If a question word, for example, as who, when, where, why, which, or how often, how many, how much, is used in the question, you cannot use the short answers about to respond to the question. So, yeah, when we use, why do we need to use these question words? Because we need to know more details about this person. So, why do you like chocolate? Why do you like chocolate? We can say yes I do, no I don't. Or yes I why, no I why. This is like the wrong structure like at all. I need to explain why. Because I like chocolate because this is sweet and I enjoy to eat a chocolate. For example, this is explanation. How much chocolate do you eat every day? For example, like I eat chocolate once per day or once per week. Explanation, details. We want to know the information. That's why we use question words. So when you use question words, you can't use short answer, just yes I do, no I don't. This is just for standard questions of the general questions. Yeah, do you like, do you need, do she like, do they do, with in present simple questions in the present simple that you can start with auxiliary verb do or does. In this case, for present simple. For next 10 English tenses we also have short answers, but this is for standard questions without question words before auxiliary verb. And this is the end of this section. This is the end of questions, grammar explanations, how to create questions in the present simple. So I will see you at the next lection, students. Have a great day, stay positive, bye bye. Hello students, this is our next lesson, and in this lesson we are going to talk about time markers. We discussed with you positive sentences, negative sentences, questions, how to form all this type of sentences, positive, negative or questions in the present simple. And we also need to remember about time markers, the list of time markers, and where to put them in the sentence, the position of the time marker in the sentences in the present simple tense. So, usually, wise people usually don't notice the angriness of others. Here we can see only different color. This is time marker, yeah? So, other part of the speech we didn't mark here with a different color. So, wise people, this is our subject, they usually, so time marker we need to put after the subject, auxiliary verb don't, notice the main verb, and after that the next part of the sentences. Regularly, anyone who regularly plays tennis knows this man. Who, this is our subject, anyone who. After that time marker, after time marker we have our main verb of the action, play. Play plus s at the end, because who, this is the third person singular, he or she, yeah? And after that the next part of the sentence. Generally, these situations generally occur in one-parent families. These situations, they, this is plural. If we want to use this situation, one situation, it will be it, subject it, but we have here these situations, they, a lot of situations. Generally, time marker, after that the main verb of the action, occur. We don't need to put s at the end of this verb because we have plural subject. And after that the next part of the sentence. Follow the structure, follow the part of the speech. Subject, time marker, main verb, subject, time marker, auxiliary verb, main verb. This is the easiest, the simple way how to speak grammarly right, how to follow the structure of the sentence. Always. I always admire the determination of these people. I always, I subject, always time marker, admire the main verb of the action. Never, he never finishes a sentence, speaks very quickly and never answers questions. He, subject, never, time marker, this is the negative meaning, the negative time marker. If you want to create negative sentences, you can use auxiliary verb doesn't or don't, or the time marker never. Subject never finishes the main verb because subject he never finishes, and the next part of the sentence. Sometimes, I help in the shop sometimes. And yes, pay your attention. Sometimes we can use time markers and put them at the end of the sentence, but you can see these examples maybe in some grammar books, maybe when you watch a movie, you can read the subtitles and check, oh, this is a mistake, or someone will use this structure and put time markers at the end of the sentence. It can be. No, in English can be everything, but for you, this is easiest way to memorize. Time markers I need to put after the subject, but time expressions like every day, every month, every week, on weekends, on Sundays, and so on, you need to put at the end of the sentence. This is the easiest way. Most often we need to put time marker. This is only one word, and we need to put them at the start of the sentence, after the subject and before the main verb. This is the right way. If you are a student and you have some tests, some exams, you need to pass some exams, this is important to know. Now, for tests, for grammar tests, this is important to follow grammar rules. For speaking, this is important to follow easiest way how to speak, and for speaking for daily conversations, not for formal, for informal conversations. People can make mistakes, yeah, and be afraid every time to make mistakes. This is not normal. This is not okay. You don't need to be afraid and make mistakes, of course, but understand the difference. At the same time, you need to know rule and understand this is a mistake and this is not a mistake, or it can be like this. From time to time, as you can see, this is time expression. This is not only one word. I visit my relatives from time to time, and all this phrase from time to time we put at the end of the sentence. First part of the sentence, I visit, present simple positive sentence, I subject, visit main verb of the action, and time expression at the end of the sentence. Often, small children often get sick. Who? Small children, subject, they, often, time marker, get the main verb of the action. Frequently, we go on business trips quite frequently. Quite frequently. So, if you want to use time marker, we frequently go on business trips. One word, quite frequently. We can combine and create a time expression. And that's why you can put quite frequently at the end of the sentence, because this is a phrase. This is not only one word, this is a phrase. You can change your time markers, you can choose time marker or time expression you want to put in this sentence. This is your choice. Seldom. I seldom find someone who could answer this question. I subject, seldom, time marker, find the main verb of the action. Rarely. New ideas rarely become popular at once. New ideas, subject, they, plural form, rarely, time marker, become the main verb of the action. If we change new ideas to the new idea, singular form, you will put s at the end of the verb become. New idea, idea rarely becomes with s, because the subject it. Occasionally. Clouds are high up and the sun occasionally breaks through. Clouds are high up. This is our present simple structure with the verb to be. Yeah, clouds, plural, subject, they, are, form of the verb to be, high up. And the sun, subject, it, occasionally, time marker, breaks, main verb of the action with s at the end, through. Write these examples with these time markers and time expressions, and also write your own sentences. This is the important part, to create your own sentences. That's how you practice the structure. Every 15 minutes. Time expression, trains run every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes. This is present simple about schedule. When we're talking about schedule, about social transport, every 15 minutes, every hour, and so on. This is present simple. This is not a future form. No, this is about present schedule. This is present simple. Every day, time expression. I have 5 lessons every day, from Monday to Friday. As you can see, we have from Monday to Friday. This is also time expression, when, and every day. Every month, my grandparents send me money. Every month. Sometimes also we can see examples when time expression stays at the start of the sentence. every month, every week, but first of all, in the right way, we need to put time expression at the end of the sentence. This is examples for you, because if you will see these sentences with time expressions at the start of the sentence and you will be in shock, you don't need to be in shock, and you will understand it can be. But when you write, when you speak, you have rules, and you will put time expressions at the end of the sentences. Okay? Write these examples, create your own sentences with these time expressions and time markers, and speak loud. When you write sentences, when you read them, you do it loud. Twice a week. I play basketball twice a week. Twice a week, time expression. We need to put it at the end of the sentence. I, subject, play the main verb of the action, basketball, noun, yeah, the name of the game. 3 times a month, time expression at the end of the sentence. I visit my parents 3 times a month. I, subject, visit, the main verb of the action, yes, my parents, noun. On Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, Dad takes me to the children's cinema. We can say on Wednesdays and put this time expression at the start of the sentence, or we can put on Wednesdays at the end of the sentence. So, Dad takes me to the children's cinema on Wednesdays when? On Wednesdays when? On Sundays at the end of the sentence. In our daily routine, when we speak, of course, we can start with time marker. This is not a problem, yeah? On Wednesdays I go to the cinema. On Wednesdays I go to the shop. It's okay, it's normal. At weekends, I wear such clothes only at weekends. Follow the structure. I, subject, wear, the main verb of the action, at weekends, time expression at the end of the sentence. In the evenings, it's every evening, each evening, yeah, in the evenings. When we have s at the end of the weekend, evening, Sunday, Monday, at weekends, on Sundays, in the evenings, it means every Sunday, every Monday, every weekend, every evening. This week I'm snowed under with work. This week, also time expression, one more time, we put it at the start of the sentence. And after that, we follow the structure. I, subject, am, the form of the verb to be, snowed under with work. In the evening. In the evenings. This place is very popular. It gets very crowded in the evenings. This place, subject, it, is the form of the verb to be. Very popular, adjective, yeah. This is explanation, like we want to describe some place, and in this case we use to be, and form am is are. This place is popular. This place is great. This place is interesting. It gets very crowded when? In the evenings. Time expression at the end of the sentence. When you repeat this 10 times, 100 times, you listen the structure, the examples, and so on, and you write your sentences and you follow the structure. This is the way how you can memorize it faster and easy. This month, everybody's favorite music is his new single. This month, also our time expression, we can put it at the start of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. This year we propose another program. We propose another program this year. Yeah? These days, do you know how much hotels cost these days? The question. Of course, in the question, time expression can be only at the end of the sentence. You can't put the time expression here at the start before the auxiliary verb do. These days, do you know how much hotels costs? No. Do you know how much hotels costs when? These days. So follow the structure of the question. do auxiliary verb, use subject, know the main verb of the action, and after that, at the end of the sentence, it will be the time expression. Today, the foreign minister arrives in Nicaragua today. So the foreign minister arrives in Nicaragua today. Today. One word, but the question when. When. It's time period. We want to show when it happened. Yeah? In which day? Today, tomorrow, yesterday. This time of time markers, this is one word, we put at the end of the sentence. Often, usually, sometimes, rarely, never. This is the question how. How often, how rarely, how usually. Yeah? Sometimes, okay, by time to time, yeah, from time to time. So, today, yesterday, tomorrow, also you need to put at the end of the sentence. This evening the film begins earlier. This evening the film begins earlier. The film, subject, begins, main verb. You need to put s at the end of the main verb because your subject it. And you can put this evening at the start of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. At 9 o'clock, I meet him at 9. I wake up at 9 o'clock. Also, this is time expression about time, when. At the end of the sentence. If you have some questions, of course, you can ask me in the comments, in the Q&A section, yeah, and we can speak with you and communicate. So, I hope this lesson was helpful for you. I hope you have learned a lot of new examples or you have repeated all these examples. I will see you at the next lesson. Stay positive. I wish you luck and I will see you next time. Bye bye, students. Welcome, students, in our next lecture. And here we are continuing to talk about present simple, and in this lecture we are going to work with verb to be as a main verb in the present simple, am, is, are, in questions. So, how to create questions with verb to be in the present simple. And we already know that verb to be changes its form, yeah, for present simple, but this is because of the subject. Yes, I am waiting for our table. So, positive sentences and questions. Yeah, so as you can see, subjects, three groups: I, he, she, it, we, you, they. And this is our three forms of the verb to be in the present simple. Am, is, are. Verb to be in the present simple, this is the main verb. We need to put this main verb after the subject, and after the verb to be it will be a noun or adjective with noun. And I am, but for questions, as we know, we need to put auxiliary verb before the subject. But in this case, our verb to be, that the main verb, will create a question. And you take am and put before the subject I am, I doing it, but this is not the for present simple. Also, don't make mistakes. If you want to ask am I do it, this is wrong. You can't put here the verb, as I said. Yeah? I am, and after am, noun. I am a student. Noun, student, noun. I am a great student. Great, adjective. Great student. But you can't put after, in this structure, after am, the verb. I am do my homework. This is wrong. And I heard a lot of these mistakes when students make, when they speak, and yes, they know rules, but when they speak and try to translate sentences, words in their head, they just, it's like a mess of rules, a mess of grammar in your head, and you try to combine everything, yeah? because like it's not automatical actions. You need to practice to build your skill, yeah, to use it automatically. So one more time, in the present simple, when you work with verb to be, verb to be, this is the main verb. The main verb, you already have the verb am, is, are. So you have subject, verb, am, is, are. After the verb, as usual, we need to put noun or adjective plus noun. You can't put like verb in this case, in this structure, no. So I am a student, he is a student, you are students. Am I a student? Is he a student? Are you, are they students, yeah? Are you a student? Are we students? As we can see, verb to be at the first position, after the subject, and after the subject, noun. Or am I a great student? Am I a great student? Are we great students? Yes, we are. We are great students. So, let's write some examples. And these examples we are going to write in some dialogues. It will be some conversation here, simple conversation, simple dialogue. And first, what is your name? What is your name? As you can see, what is your name? Is, this is our verb to be here, yeah? And we can, but before the verb to be in the present simple, you can put, of course, question words. What is your name? After that, your name, this is subject, it. What is it? What is your name? After that, David. My name is David. My name is, or I am David. Are you married? Are to verb to be, you subject, married. This is our noun. Next, no, I'm not. The short answer, no, I subject, am verb to be, not negative word. How old are you? How old question word, are verb to be, you subject. Next, follow the structure every time. I subject, am verb to be, 25. This is like our number, yes? How old are you? I am number. Are you a student? Are verb to be, you subject, a student noun. Yes, I am. Yes, positive word, yes, subject, I am verb to be. Or is he a student? Yes, he is. Yes, subject, verb to be. Verb to be, we need to use the form, depends of the subject. Dialogue 2. Let's take a look. Dialogue 2. Our girl is crying. Oh, it's something bad happened. Am I late? Am, verb, this is the form of the verb to be. I, subject, late. Noun, adjective. No, you are on time. No, you are on time. No, you are not, we can say also. Is your mother at home? Is to be, your mother, she, subject, yeah, is she at home? Where at home? No, she is out, or no, she is not. She is out. She, subject, is verb to be, out. Where? Are your parents at home? Here our subject, your parents, they, yeah? Are they at home? At home, where? Where? No, they're out. No, negative word, they, subject, are, verb to be, where, out. Or no, they are not at home. Is it cold in your room? Is, verb to be, it cold in your room. It, subject, cold in your room, the rest of the sentence. Yes, it is. Or yes, a little. He even didn't use the short form yes. Yes, it is. Or he just said yes, a little. Thanks, thank you. This is our polite answer. Next one. Are they new? Are they new? Are, verb to be, they, subject, new adjective. Yes, they are. Standard short answer. Yes, positive word, they, subject, are, verb to be. Yes, they are. Let's write some notes that you need to memorize and of course use for practice, for speaking. All what we do with you, we read, we explain to each other rules. This is for our practice. We have a purpose, we have a goal here, a task. Use our grammar structures for speaking. Is at home your mother? Is she at home? Is your mother at home? As you can see, the one question, one context, but in different structures. And we need to understand where the wrong question and where is the right question. Is at home your mother? Here. Why this is wrong? Because after is, after verb to be, you need to put subject, your mother or she. And after that, where is she? At home. So, you can't put at home and after that the subject, your mother. No, the opposite way. The right form is to be, the verb to be, yeah, is she, subject, where at home. This is right. Or your mother. Is your mother at home? Because your mother, this is a subject, this is she. Is, so we need to put verb to be, am, is, are, after the subject, are, you is a, he, she, it, or name of the person, and the rest of the sentence. Are new your shoes? Are they new? Are your shoes new? Which one will be wrong? Yeah, of course, you already know it. Wrong. The first one. Are new your shoes? Shoes. Yeah, your shoes. This is subject. It new adjective. First of all, subject, after that adjective. Are your shoes new? Or they. Shoes, plural form, yeah? They new. Are they new? Are they new? To be subject, the rest of the sentence. Next example, we have the dialogue 3 here, and we have, as you can see, questions. Questions with question words. As you remember, we need to use question words when we want to know a lot of information, some details. Where is your mother? Is she at home? So, is she at home? You can answer yes, no. Yes, she is. No, she isn't. Or where is your mother? You can just answer yes, she is. No, she isn't. Where? My mother at home, or my mother is at the shop, at the store, yeah? My mother is not at home, but you can't use short forms. No, she isn't. She is at work. He first used the short form because for the second question, and for the first one, he answered the whole sentence. Where are you from? One more time. Where? We want to know details, information. Where? And right now, he needs to say Canada. Yeah, I am from Canada. For example, if you want a short answer, are you from Canada? Yes, I am. No, I am not. I'm from America, for example, yeah? What color is your car? What color is your car? What question word? Your car. Our subject. It is red. It, verb to be. It, subject, verb to be, and noun. How old is Joe? How old is Joe? He is 24. He is 24. He subject is verb to be and number. How are your parents? Are they well? How? Question word. Are verb to be, your parents subject. My parents are good. They are on vacation. My parents, they subject, are verb to be, the rest of the sentence. Next example, these shoes are nice. How much are they? These shoes are nice. How much are they? So we want to know the information, we want to know the details, and we follow the structure. They are not so expensive. They subject, are verb to be, not negative, word, so expensive. So we don't need here to have auxiliary verb to create a negative sentence. We have are, verb to be, this is the main verb, and this verb to be will create the negative sentence by itself. Plus not, are not, be plus not. Next example, this hotel isn't very good. Why is it so expensive? So, the negative sentence, this hotel is not, this hotel it, that's why we use is, not very good. Why is it so expensive? Why, question word, is verb to be, it subject, so expensive, adjective. Want to know the information why. Why is it so expensive? It is not expensive, negative form. The hotel is surprisingly cheap, yeah? And we showed the details, the information that the person wants to hear from us. Let's write some notes. Let's continue. What can we say here? So, short forms. So, as you can see, we can use contractions, yeah? So, what's, what is, where, where's, where is. When we speak, we can understand from the context. And for us, it's normal to understand. When we write, here can be some confuses. It can be tricky, so you need to understand the structure, the part of the speech and context. So, what's the time? What is the time? This is not has, yeah, or something, what it can be else. What is the time? Where is Lucy? Where is? Question word, verb to be, the next part of the sentence. Or the subject, yeah, first of the time, it, Lucy, she. Who is that man? Who, question word, is, verb to be, that man, subject. How's your father? How, question word, is, verb to be, your father, he. This is subject. So write for yourself and use short forms of verb to be. Am, is, are. Next one. Next examples, next notes. We were talking about these short answers for all questions in the present simple, but it was when we work with verbs. Do you like? Yes, I do. Do you like chocolate? Yes, I do. Does he like chocolate? Yes, he does. But here, when we work with verb to be as a main verb, I am a student, she is a student, you are students. When we want to ask someone, who are they? Are they students? Is she a student? Am I a student? So, am I a student? Yes, you are. Or, are you a student? Yes, I am. Is he a student? Yes, he is. The same, so you have the main verb here, verb to be in the form am, is, are. This verb creates the question, am, is, are before subject, and when you want to show the short answer, you need to put yes, I subject, am, or he, she, it, is, we, you, they, are. This is your short answers for positive questions or positive answers. You can also answer for negative questions with positive answers. Next, no, I'm not, negative answers. As you can see, we just need to put the verb not after the subject and verb to be. The same. I am, he, she, it, is, we, you, they. No, I am not. No, he, she, it is not. No, we, you, they are not. So, no, subject, verb to be, not. Also, you can write these notes for you and use it for practice. Or, better, of course, for you, practice with the whole sentences. Use question words for your questions. When you practice, when you write your own questions for you in some present simple structures with verb to be or with actions, verbs, and write the whole sentences. So that is my seat. Question. That is. That subject is verb to be. We can use it. It is my seat, or that is my seat. No, it is not. No, it isn't. The negative answer. Short negative answer. No, it isn't. Are you tired? Are, verb to be, you, subject, tired, adjective. We want to know something about this person, about person's feelings. Yes, I am, or yes, I am tired. The whole answer. Yes, I am. The short answer. Are you hungry? Are, verb to be, you, subject, hungry, adjective. We want to know the information of the person. No, I am not. No, negative verb. I, subject, am to be, not. But I'm thirsty. Is your friend English? So is to be, your friend, subject, the next part of the sentence. As you can see, all dialogues, all general dialogues, they are in the present simple. We talk about ourselves, we talk about other people, and this everything we describe other people, we describe ourselves, and this is present simple with verb to be. Yes, he is. Yes, positive word, he, subject, is verb to be. Oh no, he is not. No, he is not. Are these your keys? Are verb to be these your keys, subject. Next. Yes, they are. Positive word, they, subject, are, verb to be. And this is the end of our lection. And I will see you at the next lection. Practice with your sentences, practice and speak. See you guys, stay positive. Hello students, and this is our new lection. Welcome here. And today we are going to talk forming the present simple with he, she, it and endings. So this is the lection that we were talking about in the first lections, in our first few lections, when we work with verbs, action verbs in the present simple, and when do we need to put at the end of the verb s or es or ies. It was some examples there and I were trying to explain, but without any tables, and right now I want to show you in the writing way. So I have written for you a table, the explanation, that you understand it. Okay, so forming the present simple with you, I, we, they. First group of subject. Are, you, we, they plus the basic form of a verb, infinitive form. I like sport, you read lots of books, we live in a big city, they work in London. So as we can see, purple color, this is our main verbs, infinitive form, first form of the verb, without any endings, without s, without es, just infinitive form. Next one. Second, Second, this is our group of subject he, she, it. When we form in the present simple with he, she, it, plus the basic form of a verb plus s, and here you need to put he, she, it, or he or she or it, plus infinitive form of the verb plus s at the end of the verb. He likes sport, she reads history books, it costs a lot of money, the sun warms our planet. Purple color, the main verb infinitive form plus s. Plus s. Because subject he or she or it. Also, it can be not he, she, it can be the sun, for example, but you need to identify which subject is it. It, yeah? It, the sun, it. Or Mary likes sport. Who? She. Or John reads history books. Who? He reads. Or but I read history books. So this is the standard verbs, and here we just need to put s at the end of the verb. But we have rules when we can when the ending can be es and when it can be. Let's take a look. So when we use he, she, it, we need to add es when the basic verb form ends in ch, sh, double s. Also o, x, double z. So I wash, but he, she, it washes plus es. Wash plus es. He washes his car a lot. You have the verb wash. You have the subject he. The verb wash ending with sh. That's why when you used this verb with he in the present simple, you need to put es at the end of the verb wash. He washes his car a lot. This is a rule. Memorize this type of verbs that can end in with ch, sh, double s, or it can be o, x, double z, and double z. I finish, he, she, it finishes, she finishes work at 5 o'clock. So finish, sh at the end of the verb finish, plus es, because subject she finishes. I watch, but he, she, it watches. The verb watch, as we can see, ends with ch. He watches television every evening. Watch plus es because subject he, and because the verb watch ends with ch. I teach. He, she, it teaches. Also teach, ch at the end of the verb. That's why you need to put es when you use subjects he, she, it. My mother teaches at a school, yeah? My mother, subject, she teaches. Teach plus es, at a school. So you need to understand what a subject, she or he or it, and verbs when the verb ends with ch, sh, double s, or x, double z, you need to put es. I pass, he, she, it passes. The bus passes the cinema and the church. The bus, it passes, pass, double s at the end of the verb pass, so we need to put es at the end of this verb. Next rule when we use present simple with he, she, it, third person singular, and verbs, and we need to put the end of the verb ies. So when some verbs ending in y, we change the y to ies when we use he, she, it. So yes, I fly, fly. At the end we have y, but before y we have l, consonant. That's why in the cases he, she, it will be flies. So we need to take away y, put instead I plus es. Ies, flies. My father flies, he flies. to Paris very often. So one more time. When we have Y at the end of the verb, but before Y it must be consonant L, D, P, R, and so on. I try, for example, here Y at the end of the verb, but before Y we have the consonant R. He, she tries. So you need to take away Y, put I plus ES. Tom tries hard at school. I try, but he tries. You try, but she tries. It tries also. I study at the end of the verb. Y, before Y, consonant D, but he studies. We need to take away Y, put I, plus ES. David studies at university. He studies, yeah, David, this is he. So make some notes, be careful. When you see some verbs ending in AY, UY, OY, EY, so this is Y, and before you have vowel. So you don't need to change Y to I. I play, play. At the end of the verb play you have Y, before A, vowel, so you don't need to change Y to I. You just put S at the end of this verb. He, she plays. I buy, you have buy verb. At the end, letter Y, before letter U, vowel. That's why you don't need to take away Y. You just need to put S. He, she buys. I enjoy, enjoy. At the end of the verb, Y, before O, vowel, this is vowel, and he, she enjoys, just S. Just S, ending S when you want to use he, she, it. These rules you need to memorize. Next, present simple. Third person verbs does and goes. Yes, this is about when we need to put ES at the end of the verb, so verbs that have ending all letter or. In these cases we have two verbs, do or go, and these verbs have the ending all, and we need to put es. That's why we have does as auxiliary verb, because verb do has ending all. In this case we need to put es at the end of the verb. That's why we have does, goes. Yeah, he does a lot of sport. He goes to gym. Do plus es, because do has ending all, go has ending all. She does the shopping once a week. She does, but I do the shopping once a week. She does the shopping once a week. Go plus es, because the verb go ending with o. I go to the cinema, but she goes to the cinema. He goes to the cinema. These rules with endings you need to write to your notebook, to your file in your laptop or something like that, where you have your notes, and memorize all these words. Try to find verbs with ending y and before consonant, and change the ending to ies. Also try to find the list of verbs that ending with y before vowel, and write just I play, he plays, yeah? I buy, he buys, and so on. So, thank you for the lesson, thank you for this lesson. I will see you at the next video lesson. Hello students, welcome. This is our next lesson about present simple tense, and in this lesson we are going to talk with you about adverbs of frequency. Yeah, or time markers or time expressions. This is the same meaning. So, meaning and use. Yeah. Adverbs give us more information about a verb. Adverbs of frequency tell us how often an activity happens. Yes, so why do we need to use adverbs of frequency or time markers or time expressions? Because we have a huge meaning of the context. This is about time periods, when something happened, when it will be in the future. And as you can see, adverbs give us more information about the main verb of the action. This is the main point here. There are many adverbs to choose from. Of course, we have a specific list of time markers, adverbs of frequency. I will call them time markers if this is a one word, time expressions if this is a phrase, or adverbs of frequency, and this is the same word, the same phrase. So for each tense, English tense, we have the specific list of adverbs of frequency. For present simple, every day, usually, sometimes, often. For past simple, last weekend, last night, last month. For future simple, next Monday, next month. As you can see, they are different. So here are some of the most common ones, listed from most frequent to least frequent. Let's take a look. Here in this section we are going to talk about adverbs of frequency for the present simple tense. Examples. First, I always walk to work. I always walk to work. As you can see, I, subject, always, adverb of frequency, the main verb of the action, walk. Yeah? The structure. They usually arrive late. They, the subject, usually, adverb of frequency, arrive, the main verb of the action. This is a rule about positive sentences with adverbs of frequency. You need to put adverbs of frequency after the subject before the main verb. My father often forgets his birthday. My father, he, often, adverb of frequency, forgets, the main verb of the action. We need to add s because the subject he. He sometimes wakes up early. He, subject, sometimes. Present simple, time marker of repeated actions. Wake ups, the main verb of the action. I rarely drink tea in the morning. Rarely. Sometimes, not so often. Yeah, one word, rarely. After the subject I, before the main verb of the action, which is drink. And when, in the morning, this is also time expression, but in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, we need to put at the end of the sentences. One word or time expression or adverb of frequency that include one word, most often we need to put them after the subject, before the main verb of the action. If we have the phrase like in the evening, in the morning, every day, last month, this time expression, this phrase, we need to put at the end of the sentence. You hardly ever say you love me. Hardly ever. Yeah, two words, two time markers, but we need to put them after the subject. Jenny never drinks coffee in the evening. One more time, never. This is the negative time expression, time marker, adverb of frequency, never. You don't need to use here auxiliary verb don't or doesn't. And never, after the never, you use the main verb of the action, drink, plus s because Jenny, subject, she. She never drinks. This is the negative sentence, yeah? Or positive sentence with a negative adverb of frequency, if this is easier for you to understand the difference. What else? In the evening, the time expression when, in the evening, as you can see, time markers that we put after the subject before the main verb of the action, sometimes, never, rarely, usually. This is the meaning, how often I do it, how often she does it, yeah? And in the evening, in the afternoon, on Monday, on Sundays, when? Different questions. and different position in the sentence. How to understand, how to identify where to put in the evening time expression. Ask a question. When in the evening? If the question when, put at the end of the sentence. Never. How often? Never. Question how often, put after the subject. Okay, before the main verb. This is the easiest way how to identify. I guess this is the one way how to identify the difference where to put in the sentences adverbs of frequency or time markers. Why do we need to separate them and name them time marker or time expression? Because time marker, one word. Question how often, you need to put after the subject. If this is the time expression when, you need to put at the end of the sentence. But adverbs of frequency, this is both of them, and time markers and time expressions, and this is a confuse where to put them. If you call them time marker and time expression, you understand. Time marker, how often, the question, put at the start of the sentence after the subject, time expression at the end of the sentence because the question when. We are never unhappy. We subject are never unhappy. Are verb to be, yeah? We want to describe our feelings, our emotions. This is the structure that works with the verb to be. Never, negative, adverb, unhappy, adjective. This is the structure of the present simple tense with verb to be when we use adverbs of frequency. This time of the year is usually the coldest. So this time of the year, the subject it, after that the form of the verb to be is, it is, usually, after the verb to be. Yeah, time marker, adverb of frequency, usually we need to put after the verb to be. The coldest, and the explanation. We can use modal verbs with adverbs of frequency. For example, we can use the modal verbs can, should, might, and so on, which express ability. This is about the modal verb can, obligation, modal verb should, possibility, modal verb might. Yeah, we have the list of modal verbs. So, and of course, why not? We can use modal verbs with adverbs of frequency. Let's take a look on some examples. The main question, what a position of the adverb of frequency in this type of sentences. Laura can sometimes hold her breath for over a minute. So, as you can see, Laura, she, the subject, can, modal verb, sometimes adverb of frequency, and the rest part of the sentence. So after the modal verb, not before the modal verb, after the modal verb, you have subject, modal verb, and adverb of frequency or the time marker. You should always put on sun cream when it is very sunny. You should always. You, subject, should, modal verb, always adverb of frequency. And after that we have put the main verb of the action and put what? Sun cream, yeah? The sun cream. Next, form adverbs of frequency go before the main verb. So, this is the structure. One more time, this is a structure, the table, the rule that you can notice. Write down in your notebook and use to build sentences. Because when you see the example of the sentence, okay, you understand, you can translate it, but the name of the part of the speech, yeah, you also need to remember them. So, adverbs of frequency go before the main verb. Subject, adverb of frequency, main verb. It was our first examples about this structure. I always eat breakfast. I, subject, always. Adverb of frequency, eat. What is it? The main verb of the action, yeah. They sometimes take a taxi. They is a subject, sometimes. Adverb of frequency or time marker, one word. How often? Sometimes. Take, the main verb of the action. What? A taxi. Next rule. all this scheme, all these structures you can write down. Adverbs of frequency go after the verb to be, subject plus to be plus adverb plus adjective. So, as you saw before, it was she is sometimes later, yeah, or it is sometimes cold. Subject to be forms am, is, are. Adverb of frequency, one word, this is time marker, often, usually, rarely, never. Adjective, adjective, what, which, the description, yeah, of something, or about someone. Examples: I am always late for work. I am, verb to be, always, adverb of frequency, late. This is our adjective, yeah, and late for work. He is often ready for work at 6 a.m. His subject is, this is a verb to be, often, adverb of frequency, ready, adjective. Ready for what? For work. When? At 6 a.m. Time, yeah, the specific time, we need to put also this time expression when, at 6 a.m. at the end of the sentence. We aren't usually hungry in the morning. So with subject, are, verb to be, not. This is the negative sentence. Of course, the same rule. Not we need to put after the verb to be, and after not, adverb of frequency or time marker, usually, sometimes, and so on. Hungry, adjective, yeah, when, in the morning. Time expression, when, in the morning. Next rule: you take your time right now, read examples loud, write your own sentences. Adverbs of frequency go between a modal and the main verb. Subject plus modal plus adverb plus main verb. So, subject, are you busy, he, she. Modal verb, can, could, will, shall, should, would, might, may. Adverb of frequency, sometimes, often, rarely. Main verb of the action, drink, run, jump. And practical examples. All context we need to understand from the examples. Specific situations. You should always wear a helmet. You, subject, should, modal verb, always, adverb of frequency. Wear, the main verb of the action. Wear what? A helmet, the noun. I can sometimes hear my neighbor's TV. I, subject, can, modal verb, sometimes, adverb of frequency, hear, the main verb of the action. Hear what? My neighbor's TV, the noun. Next rule: positive sentences. Let's take a look. Subject plus adverb plus the main verb. Yeah. One more time, as you can see, to build positive sentences with adverbs of frequency in the present simple, easy. Subject, adverb of frequency, main verb. The easiest structure. What's the main goal of this repetition of the structure? You need to memorize where to put adverb of frequency or time marker. I always take the bus into town. I, subject, always, adverb of frequency, after the subject, before the main verb of the action, take. What? The bus. Where? Into the town. Jenny is often late for work. She, Jenny, subject, is, this is the verb to be here. Often. How? Often. Late, adjective. This is the example with the verb to be, subject plus to be plus adverb of frequency plus adjective. Next rule. Negative sentences. Let's take a look. Subject, auxiliary verb plus not plus adverb plus main verb. Okay, let's take a look on some examples. Of course, if we want to use don't, doesn't, auxiliary verbs, negative sentences, we don't need to use every time never, yeah, to create a negative context. No, we can use the standard negative form of the present simple with auxiliary verb don't or doesn't, and after don't or doesn't put adverb of frequency or time marker. We do not usually watch TV after lunch. As you can see, do not before the adverb of frequency usually, or usually after do not, yeah, after the auxiliary verb. This is the important to remember the position of each part of the speech in sentences. They don't always wait for you. They, subject, auxiliary verb, do plus not, always adverb of frequency, wait, the main verb of the action. So always between auxiliary verb, do not, do plus not, yeah. So we can also say this is verb of frequency. We need to put after the not, yeah, the negative word, because we have subject, auxiliary verb do plus negative word not, after that adverb of frequency, after that the main verb of the action. So I don't always wait you. I do not always wait you. Question sentences. Auxiliary verb, standard structure. We need to put do or does before the subject, after the subject adverb of frequency, after the adverb of frequency you have your main verb of the action. And of course, examples. All this structure write like the first, positive sentences, negative sentences, questions, and examples. Do you always eat here? Question, because we need to put do, yeah, at the start of the question. How can we identify the question? Do at the start of the sentence, after the subject, always adverb of frequency, eat the main verb of the action. Do you always eat here? How often? Always. Does he usually do that? Does, because subject he usually adverb of frequency after the subject he, do the main verb of the action. How often? Usually. This is repeated actions, that's why this is present simple tense. Take note about negative adverbs. Negative adverbs such as never, seldom, rarely, hardly, ever cannot be used in negative sentences. Negative sentences, it means with don't and doesn't. The following sentence is incorrect because it has a double negative. And wrong and correct example. So wrong, the weather isn't never sunny. So as you can see, we have the verb to be is plus not plus negative adverb of frequency never, is not never. No, this is wrong. Correct, the weather is never sunny. So the weather is, verb to be is, after that never, adverb of frequency sunny. So this is your positive sentence with a negative adverb, and it is equal negative context, yeah. Practice a little bit with this type of examples. Write your own examples, like wrong example with a time marker never, and correct. We have a list. Seldom also. How often? Not so often, but never, it's like the negative, never. Take note about sometimes. Sometimes can go before the subject, before the main verb, and at the end of the sentence. 3 different positions, and all of them can be right. Yeah, in speaking, in daily life speaking communication, if someone will use this type of sentences, position for sometimes, at the start of the sentence, before the subject, after the subject, before the main verb, at the end of the sentence, this is normal for people to speak like that. Sometimes we go fishing. We sometimes go fishing. We go fishing sometimes. 3 different positions. And we can't say this is wrong. People use this type of sentences and put sometimes everywhere. Take note. Adverbs of frequency in the present continuous. Okay, we usually use adverbs of frequency with the present simple, but they can also be used with the present continuous. The adverb comes between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. Yeah, present continuous structure. We are going to talk about present continuous structure in the next section, but in the present continuous we have subject, we have auxiliary verb to be, in the form am is are, after that the main verb of the action plus ing. So between am is are, the verb to be, or the main verb of the action plus ing, we need to put adverb of frequency. She is always losing her phone. She is verb to be. Always, adverb of frequency, lose plus ing, losing. So this is the main verb of the action. Is auxiliary verb, losing the main verb of the action, and we can put between them what? Yeah, adverb of frequency. Okay, coloring our arrow and right now. Okay, this is perfect. So that's all for this lection. If you have some questions, you can ask me. Write your own examples, sentences for each rule. In each lection, you need to follow these tasks. And I will see you in the next lection. Stay positive, learn English, have fun, enjoy all this learning process, and I will see you at the next lection. Bye bye, students! Hello students, this is our new lection, and here we are going to talk about has or have. Yeah, grammar rules. So it was some examples in our previous lections when we work with have in the present simple, like I have a book, or and he has a book. This is a rule for verb have. We need to change the form for subject he, she, it, and use has instead of have. So it's important to know how to use the verb to have correctly. We have some different structures, of course, and right now I want to show you all of them. But what is the difference between have and has? Right now we will find out. At the end of this lection we will know what a difference. Here we have some students, they have a dialogue. Yeah, okay, let's write rules. So let's write some rules. And the first rule about have and has and when to use them. Present tenses, of course. So present tenses, uses of have and has. Both words have and has are present tenses forms of the verb to have. The past tenses form is had. So the verb have, the first form, infinitive form, this is have. Have, this is irregular verb. And second form, the past simple form, had. The third form, past participle, also had. Past participle form of the sentence of the verb, we use in the perfect tenses. Also here we are going to take a look on these structures. So the present progressive tense, present progressive continuous, yes, or continuous tense, we can use having. So this is have plus ing, but you need to take away e and put ing. We have present tenses, rules, yes, past tenses, we have another form had. So the correct verb conjugation depends on the sentence's point of view. First person, second person, and plural, third person, conjugations that use the pronouns I, you, we, and they require to use have. So one more time, when we use I, you, we, they in the present simple tense, we use just infinitive form have. This is first person I, second person you, and plural form we, they. The same rule applies when a noun or name replaces the pronoun. So indicating possession, one meaning of to have is to possess or hold something. So this like to have something, yeah, to be the owner of some things. There are several ways to use have and has to indicate that a person or noun is in possession of something. So like to be an owner of some things. Like when you have, I have a book, I am the owner of this book. This is a possession. Some examples. Let's take a look at some examples, yeah? Practical examples. First rule that we need to memorize: present simple sentences, positive sentences or negative sentences. When we work with have as the main verb, it will be are you with a have, he, she, it, has. In the negative sentences, we use auxiliary verb don't. So I don't have a book and she doesn't have a book. So she has a book, positive sentence, she has, but she doesn't have. In the negative sentences, you change has to have. So you have spinach in your teeth. Second person, you. I have spaghetti and meatballs ready for dinner. First person, I. Non and Steve have a bicycle they can lend you. Plural, third person. Non and Steve, they. We have no money left for books. Plural, first person, we. I and someone else. Non and Steve, he and he, yeah? So this is our examples. When with subjects are you with a, we need to use have. You don't need another dog. You already have 3. So as you can see, here the negative sentence with auxiliary verb do plus not, you subject, already adverb, have the main verb of the action. I do not have. The negative sentence with have, I do plus not have time for this. It's like also to be the owner of your time. They have a beautiful house on the lake. Plural, third person, they. They have. Here we are talking about singular, third person conjugations. Use has. Okay, so this is about he, she, it. He, she, it. This is singular form of the third person. And you need to change have to has. He has a book, she has a table, it has a leg. But in negative sentences, and now we will have examples, we can say he has a book, but he doesn't have a book. Yeah? He has a book, he doesn't have. It has a leg, she doesn't have. It doesn't have a leg. Angela still has a year left on her car lease. She still, adverb, has, main verb of the action. He has chocolate. He subject has, main verb of the action, chocolate. He is the owner of the chocolate, okay? He has chocolate. Carl's roommate has a pet raccoon. So, his roommate. This is a person, yes? This is he or she, his roommate. Has the main verb of the action, something. So, this person, the owner of something. She has. She is the owner of something. She has no idea that they are planning a surprise party. The bird has a nest in the backyard. Letty has so much homework tonight. Your car has a full tank of gas now. So, subjects, he, she, it. The bird, it. Letty, she or he. Your car, it. When I want to use the verb have, like the possession, the owner of something, I need to change have to has in cases with it, he, she. So, thank you for the lesson. This is all for this lection. I hope it was clear to understand to you. If you have some questions, of course, you can ask me as usual in our chat through the messages, and I will be glad to help you. Thank you for the lesson. Stay positive. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye bye. Let's continue to talk about has and have grammar rules. Part 2. At the previous lesson it was part 1, and right now we are going to continue. So, as we discussed in the previous lection, we use have and has for present simple sentences, for negative or positive sentences, but when its subjects are you with a, we need to use have. When its subjects he, she, it, we need to use has. So it is important to know how to use the verb to have correctly. This is the same dialogue of our students, and they want to know how to use verb have or has, because yes, this is true. This is a tricky situation and confused for students when they are going through levels A0, A1, A2, and to understand how to change forms of the verb have. It's most often for positive sentence, for example, when I have a book, she has a book, but she doesn't have. And you need to change again, like has to have to has to have. And all these tricky, confused situations we need to discuss and explain and understand. So modal verbs, have and has as modal verbs. When have or has, have to or has to, shares meaning with must in a sentence, they are used as modal verbs to express mood. So this combination, like have to, I have to, or she has to, this is like a modal verb. This is not a first form, infinitive form of the verb have. No, this is like have plus to, and after to we can put another verb. This usage influences the subject and compels them to action in the present tense sentences. So the grammar rules for various conjugations are the same as above. Okay, I guess it's more clear will be to read examples and work with examples structures to understand explanations. Explanations, they are always tricky, they are always difficult, but you can't avoid to read explanations. You read the explanation in the book, in the grammar book. It's difficult to understand, okay, but don't worry, don't give up. Open the next page and read examples and try to connect it, yeah? You need to connect explanation to example. So I have to get, have to, and after that get, to school on time. As you can see, have to, the combination, and after that infinitive form of the get, or like the verb have plus to plus infinitive form of the another verb. It's also the rule when we need to separate two verbs in the present simple in infinitive form together, when we want to use them together with to. I want to say, I like to go. Two verbs, infinitive form, and you need to separate them, you need to put between them to. This is also the same, but this is with verb have. So I have to go, I need to do it, yeah, I have to go. You have to tell me what you know, second person, yeah, you have to tell, you need to tell me. She has to do well at the tryout if she wants to make the team, singular third person, so she has to. This is, you can associate with different ways. First, like has plus to plus infinitive form of another verb. Because two verbs in infinitive form doesn't matter, have or has or like or want, and after that if you want to use the second verb you need to put to between them. This is a rule. Two infinitives in the sentences you need to separate with to. Or you can like associate with the structure too, because sometimes if right rule has to, have to, the structure, okay, have infinitive plus to after that infinitive. Between two infinitives I need to put to. She has to do well at the tryout. So she has, she needs, yeah, we have to work, we need to work, yeah. So it's just two infinitives, and between two infinitives you need to put to. This is the easiest way how to understand it. But instead of need, must, modal verb, you just use have or has. Like you need to do it, yeah? My sister has to stay out of my room. So she needs to stay out of my rooms. And next example. But what I wanted to say, if you put like the verb need, for example, I need to do it, she needs to do it, you need to remember about s at the end of the need, yeah? Because has, it's like already the form for he, she, you don't need to put s here for this verb. But for other verbs you need to put the end, s or es or ies. Your friends have to go home now. Your friends have to go. To verbs have infinitive form, go infinitive form, put to between them. These examples are usually intuitive to English speakers. Yeah, it's like automatically they understand the grammar structure. First of all, using the wrong form of to have doesn't sound right, making it easy to identify. So, to identity. Yeah, to have. You need to use have to, not to have, yeah? I to have to go, or I to have go, this is wrong. I have to go. After the subject, as you know, you don't need to use to. We discussed it already in the previous lections. So before infinitive form in the present, verb have, like, want, need, and so on, you don't need to put to. I too want, no, I want. Subject and verb without to. But if you want to use after the first verb in infinitive form, you want to use the second verb in infinitive form, between them you need to put to. However, using proper subject-verb agreement doesn't stop in the present tense. Okay, let's take a look on some examples on the next lection. So thank you for this lesson. I will see you the next time. Stay positive. If you have some questions, you can write all your questions, practice, make some exercises, and if it's still not clear, you can ask me in the messages. Okay, thank you. Stay positive. See you.